My name is Julie Horton. I'm a physical therapist with Big Blue Canopy Therapy in Blue Ash, Ohio, and I'm here today to talk to you about infant motor development. Those first years of motor development are so crucial in a baby's and young child's development. It's really important for their learning and development going through life. One of the first things we're going to talk about today is early tummy time. Tummy time is a really important position to place your babies into when they are awake and supervised. It's a position where they have to work a lot to lift their head up against gravity. They have to start pushing through their arms and gain that strength in their arms and in their core and in their head. It's a position that is the basis for a lot of our development later on. As you can see in some of these pictures, in these early pictures here, these are young babies, ranging from about a week old to about 3 months old. They are just beginning to learn their early tummy time skills. So you can see in this picture down on the left, the baby is not able to lift her head up quite yet, but she's still learning and getting used to that position, and that's fantastic. As they get a little bit older, they may need a little bit support, and they may want to start to kind of observe their environment, look at toys or look at their parents' face or their siblings' face. And they may need a little bit support, and there's a couple different ways that you can do that. They get a little bit older, closer to that 3-month range, they're going to start to be able to hold their head a little bit higher and holding it a little bit more independently on their own. The progression of tummy time is you're going to see that they're going to start to get themselves up high enough that they're going to start to lift their chest up off the ground and push through their arms. They're going to start to be able to reach for toys and play while they're in this position. So talking about some of that early play, a lot of babies will start their interacting with toys while they're on their back. They may start by tracking a toy, so locking on with their vision and following a toy as you maybe move it from side to side. If you have them like in a play mat, kind of as pictured down here on the bottom, the toys that are dangling down, they may start to kind of look at those, get their vision locked on it, and start to kind of play around with what happens as they reach for the toy, or maybe even kick their foot and get the toy and kind of get that feedback. So that early play is really important with toys. They may even discover their feet. A lot of babies will find that their feet are fantastic to play with and even put them in their mouth. So moving on to some sitting skills. Sitting is also a progression, just like tummy time. You're going to see in the early stages that the baby's going to need a lot of support. So you may be holding them at their trunk. You may need to hold them against your body as well to kind of help support them. Depending on their age, they get a little bit more confident, a little more strength. You'll see them move on to sitting with their hands propped on their lap or on the floor. As they get older, their hands will start to move up off their lap, and they'll start to be able to reach for toys and play with toys. Moving down into this last picture on the right, you'll see that this baby is older. This is a position that he's transitioning in and out of. So he's probably crawling across the room, comes back into sitting for a little bit, and is ready to crawl across the room to get another toy. So moving on to hands and knees, or quadruped as we'll call it, is a very important position. A lot of babies may skip this stage, and then they might do crawling as they get a little bit older, like for crawling up the stairs or crawling through a tunnel. However, this is the position, hands and knees, that we really would like to encourage for most babies to be able to do. It's really important for developing arm, core, and head strength. As you have the weight bearing through the hand as they're crawling across the floor, it's developing a lot of those early hand strength skills that they're going to need for later on for the fine motor skills. There's been a correlation with their visual motor development with crawling as well. It's really important for their visual motor skills to be able to have this stage and working on hands, knees, and crawling. I'm just going to show you a video here of this little one. He is working on getting up on hands and knees, and that's really cool. He is working really hard, pushing himself up, getting there. Can't quite hold it up all the way yet, but he's getting better, and he keeps practicing. You'll see as babies are working on new skills, they're going to have to practice a lot. And like I said, he keeps trying, doesn't give up. He continues to work on that hands and knees, and even as he gets up there, he even starts working on that weight shifting back and forth. That's an excellent position to work on. And as you can see from that video, that baby was not giving up. And this is something that is important for us as grown-ups, for our kids at home working on their homeschooling, to the babies as well. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. I love this quote. I think this is a fantastic thing to think about when we talk about babies' learning development. It's going to be hard for them. It's going to be challenging. However, if they don't practice those skills, if they're not challenged a little bit, they're not going to learn and gain those new skills. It's really important for them to have a little bit of a challenge, to let us step back a second, see them struggle a little, and see if they can work through those challenges to kind of gain that new skill. Obviously grading it to the child and what that struggle might be. Always making sure they're in a safe situation is important. So moving on up. So these babies are starting their early standing skills. You can see the photo on the far right. This baby is needing a little bit more support. He has both hands on the surface. As you move down, maybe they are able to just kind of hold on with their hands held, or maybe just one hand on the surface here. And we'll check out this video. This baby is crawling. He's figured out, oh, I can pull up onto my knees all the way up into standing, and he's doing some cruising along the furniture. He's doing a great job. So moving on into standing independently and walking. So when babies first start to stand independently, you may see their hands up in this, what we would call high guard or a mid guard position. It's a way that the babies can kind of stabilize to help keep themselves steady. Both of these babies are walking at this point in these photos, but they're on unstable surfaces, they're on sand. And so they're having to work pretty hard to maintain their balance on that softer surface. And so even though they may be better walkers on the ground, they need a little bit more support and help on the softer surface. We'll check out the video. So here we have an early walker. She's figured out, she's getting those first steps down. She still has her hands up in that guarded position. And her steps aren't quite mature yet. They're those early steps where she's going to do a lot of lateral movement with those steps as she's working hard at reaching her mom from across the room. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about a parent and baby virtual play group that we're going to start at Big Blue Canopy. I'm really excited about this. This is going to be a chance for parents to engage with other new parents that are stuck at home right now in quarantine. It'll be hosted by myself and will be an opportunity for the parents to interact and socialize with each other, talk about what's going well at home, maybe talk about the struggles, maybe even just talk about what it's like to be at home stuck in isolation without that support of your friends and family. And it'll be, like I said, hosted by myself. So you'll have a physical therapist there that will be able to interact with you all, maybe give you some tips and suggestions, and just talk about those early development stages. There's going to be some more information on our website as well as our Facebook page. So check us out and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.